Alrighty, hello YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cryptic Coil, and in today's video, I will give you guys another book haul because lately I think I found some good stuff. Alright, so the first book that I want to show you is this little paperback of The Running Man by Stephen King. Now, I don't know if I need this. I don't know if I'm going to trade it for something else later down the road or if I'm going to just sell it. I have no idea because I don't really need it. I have the Bachman Books collection in hardback. I actually have two. I have one with a dust jacket, one without. So I don't even know if I even need this because I'm at a point where I need to buy another bookshelf. All right, so there's that. And I'm not really even going to go in any particular order today. I'm just going to grab whatever's on top and I'm going to show you. So I'm not going to do like middle grade and then work my way to young adult and then work my way to adult today. All right, so I found this. This is called Princess for a Week. And the only reason why I bought it is just to add it to my Betty Wren Wright collection. Betty Wren Wright typically didn't write stuff like Princess for a Week. She typically did ghost stories. Rest in peace. And you know, if Lois Duncan is the queen of Scream, should Betty Wren Wright be the princess or the duchess of Scream? I don't know. You tell me. I think that that's a conversation worth having, though. But there's no tagline on the front. There's no synopsis on the back, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that. But it is really cool to, you know, have a Betty Wren Wright title that I never knew existed and didn't previously have. All right, then let's get into two Vintage Apple paperbacks. Okay, so I have this one by Barth de Clement. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's called Sixth Grade Can Really Kill You. And I feel like in my previous book haul, the one just before this, I might have had this book in a different printing. I'm not 100% sure, but let's check it out. Tagline on the front reads, "But only if you let it," because the title is Sixth Grade Can Really Kill You, but only if you let it. And look at that cover. I mean, that looks like every, you know, sixth grade classroom I was ever in, you know, like 30 years ago or however long ago, 25 years ago. Gosh, I'm old. All right. Here's the synopsis on back. Bad Helen. Helen thinks this year might be better than most. There are some neat people in her grade. Her friend Louise, Leon, Jack Hansen, even Elsie Edwards. But Helen's teacher turns out to be Mrs. Lobb. Lobb the Blob makes things so hard for Helen that she decides to live up to her nickname, Bad Helen, and do all the things she's always wanted to do. Being bad is fun, till Helen finds out she might have to stay back a year. That's the last thing she wants to do. But what will it take to get herself out of trouble when she's been in it for so long? Sounds relatable. Let me tell you how much fun I had in sixth grade. Okay. So, you know, that sounds like it would be worth a read. All right, and I remember this book. I don't think I actually know that I've never read it, but I feel like I remember a time when I watched somebody get up in front of the class and do a book report on this book because this one has nostalgic vibes like crazy. It's by Nancy K. Robinson, and it's called Veronica the Show Off. And I feel like I have more Nancy K. Robinson books. I just haven't gotten up to look. But the tagline on the front reads, "If Veronica doesn't stop showing off, she'll never find a friend." And look at the cover, you know, you got these little schoolgirls, like, you know, gossiping and whispering and laughing at, you know, the girl in front of the class with the cardigan sweater and the schoolgirl plaid skirt. All right, so I think the title tells us a lot. Now let's check out the synopsis on the back. What a show off. Veronica is starting a new school. She wants to make friends. She tells everybody about all the wonderful things she has, even if she doesn't really have them. Soon everyone at school is tired of Veronica the show off. But then a very odd girl named Hillary and a mystery at the library teach Veronica something new. When you're busy being a friend, there's no time to worry about finding one. Okay, sounds like it's a book with a positive message. And I'm sure there were kids at the time and still are that could really use that message. And this book is from 1982, or that's when it was copyrighted, but it looks like this one was printed in 1986. So this printing is old as me, but the book was written several years before I was born. And I already confessed to being old. Oh, hey, speaking of which, check out my shirt. I got it from Walmart. It's a Scream football jersey. I have a hockey jersey too, so I dig it. All right, let's move on. Okay, so I have a young adult book printed by Avon Flair, and I really wish that like my young adult horror Avon Flair collection would grow a little faster. I just don't find them out in the wild all that much. But this one's cool. It's called Alone in the House, and I have one by Richard Peck called like Are You Alone in the House? But this one is by Edmund Plant, and look at that cover. I mean, it's a very good looking cover, even though it's been done a million times. But, it never gets old. All right, so this one is called In the Middle of the Night, or sorry, Alone in the House, but the tagline on the front reads, In the middle of the night, she is all alone, almost alone in the house. All right, so the synopsis on the back reads, The party's over. It began with the party. Joanne's parents were away and she'd been talked into having some friends over. But strangers crashed the party and the fun ended. Now the terror begins. Everyone has left. The house is dark and deadly quiet, almost. First, Joanne hears the sound of flapping wings, then footsteps directly above her. A strange icy mist begins to fill the air, and a deep, chilling voice speaks. At last we meet, my lovely one. It was a lovely party. Whoa, that sounds good. All right, let's see, what year was this made? There's a whole bunch of advertisements for Whitley Strieber adult books like The Transformation, The Communion, The Wolfman, and The Hunger. I watched The Hunger for Old School April last year. So I'm just looking to see what year this came out. Okay, this was copyrighted and printed in 1991. All right, so kindergarten, first grade, ish for me. All right. Then I found this book, and I think that this is an adult novel, and it's called The Last Girl by Penelope Evans, and this is a psychological thriller. And this might actually be a debut novel. It is. It is. So I saw it and I was like, okay, I like the cover, The Last Girl. I like the title. But it's not horror. It's a psychological thriller. And for a second there, I hesitated to buy it, and I was like, my book collection is way too big. Like I don't read, 95% of the books I buy. And I was like, but let me just see what this is about. And so I read the synopsis on the inside of the dust jacket, and it sounded so good that I knew I had to have it. All right, so let's read the synopsis together real quick. Larry Mann, lonely and neglected in his rooms on the top floor of a North London house, is delighted when pale, quiet Amanda, a young student, moves in below him. Anxious to make her feel at home, he brings her presents, prepares meals for her, and is always ready for a cozy chat and a drink in the evening. Amanda's arrival makes a world of difference to Larry, abandoned long since by his wife and daughter. He is happy to spend time serving her any way he can. Amanda, shy and kind hearted, doesn't want to hurt Larry's feelings, but she's not always as grateful as she might be for his attentions. And Larry, uneasy at the weekend visits of her male friend and fearful that he may supplant him in Amanda's affections, broods darkly on the past. Told throughout in Larry's voice, this extraordinarily eerie tale builds to a dreadful and unexpected climax. Penelope Evans, in her remarkable first novel, winds up the psychological tension to an almost unbearable degree. That actually sounds pretty good. I mean, I want to get around to reading this one. All right, then I found this book, and this is a sequel to I don't remember if it was The Haunting of Sunshine Girl or something, but it's by Paige McKenzie, and I have the first one. It's nice to have this one as well. This is from the year 2016, and I have an entire shelf with all these modern scholastic young adult middle grade horror books, and it's actually so full. Like, I have that shelf full that now I'm stacking books on top. So I mean, I'm definitely in need of a new bookshelf. I don't know if I have anywhere to put it. I mean, maybe there, but then I'm gonna have to move that, painting. Anyway, speaking of modern young adult horrors, printed by Scholastic, I have this one by Sean Sarles. I have no idea how to pronounce that last name, but look at that cover. I mean, that is a dope looking cover. I mean, it's got some like The Ring, The Grudge vibes. It's also got some like Nightmare Before Christmas meets Evanescence kind of vibes. I really like this. And the title is Mary Will I Die by Sean Sarles. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that name right. But let's go ahead and read the synopsis on the back. The mirror doesn't hold your fate. She does. Only one of them knew about Bloody Mary. If you say her name into the mirror 13 times, she'll show you your future. Some legends say that she'll reveal your one true love. Others that she'll show you how you'll die. And then some believe that conjuring Bloody Mary will bring her into our world. When the four of them, Elena, Steph, Calvin, and Grace, play the game, they think it's innocent enough. Elena sees her longtime crush. Steph sees a girl she's never met before. Grace sees Calvin, and Calvin sees her, Bloody Mary. They pretend it's all fake, and they only saw their own reflections, but something happens to each of them that will follow them for years to come. A demon is unleashed, waiting for the right moment to strike. Now, 5 years later, the four of them are no longer friends, and the mirror is only a distant memory. But they can no longer ignore the eyes that have been watching them for years. The air is thicker, her voice whispering in their heads is louder. Accidents start happening, people get hurt, and Bloody Mary won't stop until she gets what she wants. That sounds dope. Okay, that sounds like a terrific read, and there's a bookmark in here. Be a reader. Check this out. And this is a first printing, and it's from 2021, so it's only 4 years old. This, I think that this and Alone in the House, I think that these are the ones that I'm most itching to read. All right, then I found this like vintage middle grade one. I guess it's book 6 in the fifth grade monsters series. It's an Avon Camelot printing. It's in really good condition. The title is Monster Mashers, and it looks like there's these children in an attic, maybe with a witch lady brewing in her cauldron, and there's like a TV person filming it. I don't know what's going on here. Let's read the summary on the back. Oh, and the author is Mel Gilden. Give me a sec. Let me have a refreshment. It's Saturday evening for the record. Okay, so Save the Monsters. Danny Keegan and his monster pals, Seedy Beitsky, Howie Wolfner, and Elisa and Frankie Stein, are thrilled when their old friend Zelda Bella, who they think may be a witch, turns up as the star of the new TV show Mother Scary's Matinee. But Zelda Bella's TV career may be short lived. Weird Arthur DeBarber and his Monster Mashers want to keep Brooklyn monster free, and they're determined to see Mother Scary off the air and deported to Romania. It's up to Danny and his friends to save Zelda Bella. If the Monster Mashers succeed, they won't stop until CD, Howie, and the Steins have been sent back to where they came from, too. Let's see what year this came out, because I feel like that's an allegory for like deportation, like illegal immigration and stuff. It's actually from the year 1989, so I mean, I was only 3. I don't know what the conversation was like back in them days around that issue, but maybe I'm reading too much into it because of, the political climate happening in the world right now. But I feel like that's kind of a metaphor or an allegory for, illegal immigration and deportation and whatnot. All right. So this might have been an exciting find. I'm not sure. I think it might be a point horror book, and it's a collection of short stories by an author named Judith Gorog. Okay, and the title is Please Do Not Touch, a collection of stories. Okay, and here's the cover, okay? And, it says YA fiction. Let's go ahead and read the back. These stories won't just scare you to death, they'll take you there. You're about to go to a very strange place, a place like no other. It's not exactly haunted, but there is something very scary going on. All you have to do is touch something, anything, and its story will unfold before you. In fact, you'll become the story. Remember the time you visited the little house down the road? Well, the family who lived there came across some pretty bad luck. It seems they may have done away with the people who lived there before them. But then, you know what happened. You were there. And what about that old silver car that only shows up when something horrible is about to happen? Did you go for a little ride? This is a collection of stories just for you, the ones who like their stories very scary and a little on the strange side. Please read on. That sounds pretty good. That does. And here are the titles of the stories. All right. There's the first one is called In the Gallery. The second one is called Jemmy's Halloween. The third one is called Hillside House. The fourth one is called My Elder Sister. The fifth one is called The Coffee Pot. The sixth one is called Moon Path. The seventh is called The Other Side of the Moon. The eighth one is called Off the Wall. The ninth one is called The Rented House. The 10th one is called Henry and Vilma. The 11th one is called Radio Bimbos. The 12th one is called Damascus. The 13th one is called The Phantom Touring Car. And the last one is Author's Note. I don't know if Author's Note is the title of a story or if it's just like, something that the author wants to say to the readers. Let's see. I just want to check it out because this is kind of fascinating. I've never seen or heard of this one. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's just the author kind of talking to the reader. It's one page. It's just like, the opening sentences is, my elder sister is my version of a story told by Gary Snyder, a poet and professor at the University of California at Davis. I mean, so it's just the author, speaking to the reader, one on one, person to person. And this book was printed in 1993. But it sounds to me like, it's a point horror book that I'd never heard of before, and I think it's really cool that I found it. All right. Oh, this one kills me because I love the cover, and I don't know if it's horror, but it feels like it could be horror adjacent. It's actually marketed as like mystery suspense. And the author's name is Phyllis A. Whitney. Great looking cover, but the gosh forsaken thrift store sticker kind of ruined a little bit of the cover. Ugh, that was so unnecessary. But beautiful looking cover. And I'll just read you the synopsis on the back. The Red Carnelian. Okay, yeah, that's the title of the book. The Red Carnelian. Chicago, 1943. Lennell Wynne, a copywriter for the Cunningham department store, is happy with her job, but still feels hurt over a failed affair with Michael Montgomery, the company Casanova. The war is on, and good men are hard to come by. It's bad enough when he runs off and marries a younger employee, but it's worse when the new bridegroom turns up dead, his head crushed by a golf club. A man had to do it. All right. Everyone at Cunningham's had a motive for killing Montgomery, particularly Linnell. I'm going to call her Linnell. I think it sounds prettier. All right. Realizing she's a prime suspect, she resolves to do some sleuthing on her own. Linnell soon discovers that some of her coworkers are not what they appear to be. Some very shady pasts come to light, and when another corpse appears in Cunningham's display window, Linnell finds that a red carnelian, a gemstone the color of blood, holds the secret to cold-blooded murder. Interesting. And this book is from, whoa, it says copyrighted in 1943. Originally published as Red is for Murder. This is a printing from 1989. And I don't know, is it 1943? Is it 1971? Is it 1989? Interesting. All right, well, let's move on. So I have a paperback copy of this one, but I found a hardback ex-library copy, and it's a book called If You Want to Scare Yourself by Angela Summer Bodenberg, and I have the paperback. I think Shadyside Library even found the paperback in one of his book haul videos. This one is from, sorry, excuse me. It's from 19, whoa, it wasn't originally written in English. It was first published in German, and the English translation happened in 1989. Looks like the first American edition was printed in 1989, so I guess this book is from 1989. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 stories in here. The first one is called Barbara, the second one is called Harry, the third one is called The Child Under the Cloak, the fourth is called Wolfgang, and the fifth is called And They Went Over the Hill. I haven't read it, but part of it's because I didn't want to damage my paperback. But now that I have this hardback, it looks like I can read it. All right. Then I found another Betty Wren Wright book, and I have the paperback, but it's like in mint condition. And this one is called Too Many Secrets. And since, it's a hardback and it's an ex-library copy, I guess I can read this one. So I want to go on a Betty Wren Wright reading spree. All right. Then I found another copy of Freeze Tag by Caroline B. Cooney, and this is a reprint. It's a reprint of one of Caroline B. Cooney's point horror books, and I have an original copy, like a first edition, I believe, and I actually got it in a book swap with Shadyside Library. I sent him some books, he sent me some back, and one of the ones that he hooked me up with was Freeze Tag because I didn't have it and I wanted it, and he happened to have a spare, so he hooked me up. Now I have a reprint, and the reprint is actually like in really, really good condition. And I found it at a thrift store recently, and it's got a bookmark inside, and the bookmark is themed around friendship, and it says, "Friendship warms the heart." And it's like, aw, right when I'm talking about Zach from Shadyside Library, of course. It's beautifully ironic, if you ask me. All right, then I found another book by Zilpha Keatley Snyder. Zilpha Keatley Snyder has written books like The Witches of Worm and a few others, but this one is called The Runaways, and it's it got like some Stand By Me vibes. It's got some like what was that movie with like Fred Savage, where they ran away to like compete in some video game tournament in the 80s. I think it was called The Wizard or something. It's got vibes like that. So that's why I bought it. But first of all, let's see what year did this come out. It looks like it came out in 1999. For a second there, I thought this was autographed, but no, it's just graffiti. All right, let's read the synopsis on the back. Danny O'Donnell is stuck in the middle of the desert in the gruesome town of Rattler Springs. She's convinced the desert hates her, and she hates it right back. All she wants is to get back home to California, but she and her mother are too broke to move. Just before her 13th birthday, Danny decides to run away. Either she'll somehow collect enough money for a bus ticket, or she'll hitch a ride. Before she can get anywhere, though, 9-year-old Stormy Horns. Before she can get anywhere, though, 9-year-old Stormy horns in. He's always following her around, and now he plans to follow her straight across the desert. Why does he have to stick to Danny like glue? Danny and Stormy are working to get the money for bus tickets when a new girl moves into town. Pixie is definitely the strangest girl and the biggest liar Danny has ever met. There are all sorts of weird rumors about Pixie's parents, too. Soon, Pixie has attached herself to Danny and to the runaway scheme. But what exactly is Pixie running away from? Zilpha Keatley Snyder combines suspense with quirky humor as she weaves together the stories of three unhappy kids from very different families in this insightful and richly atmospheric novel. That sounds really good. So yeah, I hope I get around to reading that one. Let's see. I found this one. There's no synopsis on the back. It's a weekly reader children's book club. It's a hardback. I mean, this thing is old. It's from the same year that my father was born, 1969. No, my bad. I'm thinking of a different book. I haven't shown you all the books that I bought this week, but this one is from 1971. So it's at least as old as my mother. Anyway, this one is called The Haunted Cove. And I don't know if it's a novel or a collection of short stories because it looks like the chapters are titled, but I don't know if that's just titled chapters or if it's a novel. But anyway, I don't know if I'm going to get around to reading this one, but it does look good. It sounds good. And it's got a cool looking cover. You know, a weekly reader children's book club book. $5.95. $5.95 for 1971. That sounds like a lot of money for a children's book back then. That's the only copyright date on this copyright page. Interesting. Okay, whatever. Then I found this one, and I really like it. And what sold me on buying it, what sold me on paying for it and taking it home, was the endorsement on the front cover by Christopher Pike. Okay, Christopher Pike says, "Unforgettable, complex, and unique. I could not put this book down." And the title of the book is Darkness Becomes Her by Kelly Keaton. And the tagline on the front reads, "Beneath every beauty, evil stirs." And this is what the cover looks like. Okay, very cool. All right, so let's go ahead and read the synopsis on the back. What's going on here? Someone drew a picture of Tinkerbell, and they ripped a page out and drew a picture of Tinkerbell and left it in and then donated it to a thrift store. Okay, interesting. All right, the synopsis on the back reads, our gazes locked. This pained expression shifted to regret. One hand reached out and lifted a strand of my hair. "So beautiful," he whispered, rubbing it between his bloody finger and thumb. He shuddered and fell back. My long hair trailed slowly through his fingers as his body slid off the blade. The frogs and crickets continued their night song. The sounds of traffic came back to life. But all those sounds that had no idea what had just happened, were muted by my loud, ragged breaths. Interesting. That's what it said on the back. Just for kickles, kicks and giggles. It's from the year 2011. And let me read the more elaborate synopsis on the inner dust jacket. A curse beyond her darkest fears. Ari can't help feeling lost and alone. With teal eyes and freakish silver hair that can't be changed or destroyed, Ari has always stood out, and after growing up in foster care, she longs for some understanding of where she came from and who she is. Her search for answers uncovers just one message from her long dead mother: run. Ari can sense that someone or something is getting too close, but it's impossible to protect herself when she doesn't know what she's running from or why she's being pursued. She knows only one thing: she must return to her birthplace of New 2, the lush rebuilt city of New Orleans. Upon arriving, she discovers that New 2 is very different. Here, Ari is seemingly normal, but every creature she encounters, no matter how deadly or horrifying, is afraid of her. Ari won't stop until she knows why, but some truths are too haunting, too terrifying to ever be revealed. Okay, I don't think I'm really interested. I think that sounds more like fantasy. And Christopher Pike wrote a book in 2012 called Witch, and it sounds like it's the exact title. And then he's got an endorsement, or it sounds like it's the same plot. And then he's got an endorsement on this cover, and with a book that came out the year before with a very similar plot. I don't know. That's interesting. I think I'll just read the Christopher Pike one, even if he ripped it off. All right. This was an exciting find. Okay, I found a Barbara Steiner book, and it's not a point horror. It was printed by Minstrel. Here, but it's a middle grade book, I believe, and it's called Ghost Cave. And the tagline on the front reads, "The cave is their secret if they escape alive." And this is a really cool looking cover. I mean, it's got some like Goonies vibes. These kids in a cave, they look scared. There's a skeleton, and they have their dog with them. That is an adorable dog. Shame on these kids for endangering that dog. All right. Let's go ahead and read the synopsis on the back. Let me have a sip. All right. Mysteries of the Hidden Grave. There's nothing 11-year-old Mark Schaller likes better than investigating an unexplored cave. So when his hound, Blue Dog, leads him to a cave he's never seen before, he persuades his friends Eddie and Hermie to join him on an expedition. All goes well until they find an ancient Indian grave. Hoping for even greater discoveries, the boys dare to venture further into the bottomless maze. Suddenly, they're lost, running out of food and water, desperately looking for a way out. Have they disturbed a vengeful ghost, or will the spirit of the cave guide them to safety? I mean, that sounds good. It really does. This is a 1993 publishing, and it's not exactly like in perfect condition, but it's somewhere between very good and near mint. And in fact, I might even go so far as to say near mint. And so I can't read it because I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. So, but it does sound good. All right, I think I got three more. I think I'm gonna just leave. I'll just leave it at this one, and one more. All right, so this is a Goosebumps Horrorland book, and it's called The Streets of Panic Park. And you got Slappy riding a carousel, or is that like an actual horse? I think it's a carousel. But this is book number 12 in the Goosebumps Horrorland series, and so my Goosebumps Horrorland collection is almost complete. I have books 1 through 17, and now I want to say book number 7 and book number 7 and I guess book number 11, and then if I ever obtain book number 7 and book number 11 with this edition, I'll then have books 1 through 12. But right now, I'm currently missing number 7 and number 11. So this is cool. Then I have this book, and I really like the title. It's called Sarah Normal. I dig it. All right, that sounds like she could be like a goth metal rock star. And I guess that's like what the author goes by, Sarah Normal, and the title is Ghost Town. Wait, no, the author's name is Phoebe Rivers, And I guess this is a series called Sarah Normal, and the book in the series is called Ghost Town. Give me a sec. Okay, that's not what I did not realize that when I brought it home from the thrift store. Not that it's a problem, but okay, there's a prologue, but there's no like page that tells you what other works the author might have. Is this book number 1 in the series? Is that what's going on here? And I'm just flipping through. Okay, nope. I don't know. Let's just check out the synopsis on the back. The beach, the boardwalk, the ghosts. Sarah Collins is a normal girl with an abnormal secret. She sees spirits. Sarah has had this ability for almost as long as she can remember, but she doesn't like to talk about it. She wants nothing more than to have a normal life, and to her, normal doesn't include anything paranormal. But Sarah's ability isn't going away. In fact, changes are happening in her life that will make her ability even more powerful. Her world is about to be turned upside down because she's moving across the country with her dad to an old shore town in New Jersey. A shore town with a lot of history and more than its fair share of ghosts roaming around. Okay. So this might be a series, and I'm guessing this is book number 1 in the series. That's just what I'm guessing. And I told you that I was just going to leave it at that, but I found this, and I just bought it for the nostalgic vibes. I doubt I'm ever going to read it because it's like a teen, young adult romance. And gosh, it's from the year 1983, 3 years older than me. And it's called Color It Love. And look at that cover. It's got some Friday the 13th vibes, but it's not a horror book. It's like a teen romance. The author's name is Amy Lawrence. And the tagline on the front reads, "When your best friend steals your boyfriend, there's only one thing to do. Color it love." All right, so I'm not going to read this. But here's the synopsis on the back. Marnie couldn't believe it. Her so-called best friend had stolen her boyfriend. Now, she knew that her best friend was no friend at all, and her boyfriend was 99% dog and 1% puppy. In her despair, Marnie decided to go away to a camp in Connecticut and be a counselor. Getting away from New York for the summer would do her a world of good. At camp, Marnie met Nick, and the relationship between them began to grow. Then came Dawn, a new camp counselor who was as beautiful as her name. Was history going to repeat itself? I see the appeal. I really do. But my time is limited. My time is valuable. And I need blood to enjoy myself. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Cryptic Coils Book Hauls. I guess that's what I call it. But anyway, this was a fun one for me. This was a cool one. I was like super stoked that I found the Ghost Cave copy. I think that the Ghost Town Sarah Normal, was pretty cool. It felt really good to get another step closer to completing my Horrorland collection. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thing, but I don't plan on reading it. And this one is fun just because it's so old. It predates Goosebumps and everything. I mean, it's one of those like books that was like a precursor for the popularity of middle grade horror. The Runaways it sounds like a very compelling read, very nostalgic, something in the vein of like Stand By Me. And I really want to read this one. I was very excited about the Freeze Tag reprint, the Betty Wren Wright hardback, the If You Can Scare Yourself hardback, and the Please Do Not Touch Point Horror short story collection, the the Avon Flair horror book Alone in the House that I'd never heard of before. If you look on the back, the back corner had been cut off, but like the spine is holding up pretty good. The cover's not too beat up. The spine is holding onto the pages about as well as it did the day the book was printed. And the cut off corner was inside the book. I might fix it with like packing tape. I think I'm going to. So that was pretty cool. That was an exciting find. And this Mary Will I Die book, I mean, this is compelling. It just sounds good. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna let you go. But thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself. All right, horns up, peace out, take care. And tomorrow's Easter, so if you're religious or if you're into Easter or anything like that, have a happy Easter. All right, horns up, peace out.